Namaste. This is David Hawthorne at astroview.com. Today is the 8th of January 2014. The following is the Vedic astrology reading for Miley Cyrus based on the 23rd of November 1992 at 6:37 a.m. in Nashville, Tennessee. Now, using Vedic astrology from India and the sidereal zodiac, this gives the 8th sign rising in the first house. This is called the ascendant, AS, and this is the 8th sign ascending or rising in the first house. This is called Scorpio rising sign, and she has a retrograde Mercury in the first house at almost 4 degrees, Sun in the first house at 7 degrees. The ascendant is 7 degrees. That's the most effective point of every house. Any planet close to the most effective point has a very powerful influence. And she has Rahu, the northern node of the moon, also in Scorpio at 27 degrees, but in its debilitation sign. So this is the first house of Scorpio. This is the second house of Sagittarius with Venus in Sagittarius, third house of Capricorn with Saturn in Capricorn, fourth house of Aquarius, fifth house of Pisces, sixth house of Aries, seventh house of Taurus with Ketu, the southern node of the moon, also debilitated in the 7th house. This is the 8th house of Gemini, 9th house of Cancer, with Mars at 3 degrees in the sign of Cancer, which is the debilitation sign for Mars. 10th house of career is Leo, ruled by the Sun. 11th house of gains is Virgo, with Jupiter in the 11th house of Virgo. And in the 12th house of Libra, we have Moon. So first off, we can see that this person, this is the rising sign, Scorpio rising sign. We can see this person is very powerful. Sun, ruling the 10th house of career, is in the first house. So she has a lot of power, a lot of authority, a lot of leadership, and status. Sun rules status as well. Now Mercury rules this 11th house of income, and Jupiter, the planet of good fortune, is sitting in the house of income. And this is ruled by Mercury, which is in the first house. So this brings income to her. So Mercury in the first house is also good for writing, business, and communications. She does have Venus in the house of wealth, status, and speech. Venus is the planet of entertainment. It's in the house of communications and speech. So that gives melodic voice. Ruled by Jupiter, which is a golden voice. Jupiter's over here. Then we have Saturn in its own sign. This is very good for entrepreneurial activities. First off, Saturn rules this 4th house of parents, so it makes her parents very enterprising. Her father is Billy Ray Cyrus. Let's look at these notes. Miley Cyrus, American actress, recording artist. She's the daughter of a very successful country singer, Billy Ray Cyrus. She rose to prominence as a teen idol in the Disney Channel television series Hannah Montana. She's ranked number 13 on Forbes 2010 Celebrity 100 top celebrities in the country. She has 6 top 10 hits on the Billboard Hot 100. She's got 4 RIAA certified albums by the time she was 18 years old. And in this past year, 2013, she was recognized as the Artist of the Year by MTV. Now, she has 3 older half-siblings. I think 2 were by her mother, 1 was by her father. Then they got married, and then they had Miley, and then they had 2 other siblings. She does suffer from a mild heart condition, which causes some trachycardia. And I think that's due to the moon. Sun and moon are both heart. But see, this is a very powerful sun. Look at this sun right at 7 degrees on the ascendant of 7 degrees. Gets the support of Mercury. And it's 20 degrees from Rahu. So Rahu is not causing any damage. If planets are not within 5 degrees of each other, there's no impact. So this Rahu is 20 degrees from Sun. What Rahu in the first house does give is ambition, charisma, persuasiveness, and also makes her a risk taker. And she does have to be a little bit careful about addictions and, operating outside the norm of society. This is Rahu debilitated in Scorpio, but it's not on the rising sign degree. and it aspects 5, 7, and 9 houses away. There's nothing here other than Rahu and Ketu are always opposite each other. And this is 24 degrees from Mars. So Rahu's causing no damage to any houses, signs, or planets. And Ketu, sitting here, also does not cause any damage. It aspects 5 houses away, but it's 13 degrees from Jupiter. It's 24 degrees from Mercury, 20 from Sun, so it's not causing trouble there. And it aspects 9 houses away, but that is also 8 degrees from Saturn. So she's very fortunate that Rahu and Ketu are benign, but they are debilitated. So if we go over and look at some of her subperiods here, like she's going to hit a Rahu subperiod starting this March 2014. It's going to run for almost 3 years. So that's going to give her charisma, fame, fortune. But again, it can cause some immoral behavior as well, some risk-taking. So she has to be careful, and there can, during that Rahu period, be some eclipse. So she does have to do some remedial measures for Rahu, including helping afflicted persons. And she can also help holy persons for Ketu as well. But this is a powerful chart. Now, Moon ruling the 9th house is in the 12th house. So that kind of causes some separation from organized religion, some losses and expenses on account of religion, some separation even from her father. Look at Mars is in the 9th house of father. So her father is very courageous, very successful. And I like Mars here, except that it is in its debilitation sign. So Mars rules the 6th house of Aries, and it's in its debilitation sign, and it's only 3 degrees. That's infant state and weak. So the weakness of Mars undermines the strength of the 6th house. So she can have some health issues, and she can have some losses and expenses connected with litigation or health issues or disputes, contracts, that type of thing. Because this Mars is debilitated and weak at 3 degrees and ruled by a badly placed moon in the 12th house of Libra. So this 6th house, 8th house, and 12th house, in this case Aries, Gemini, and Libra, these are Dustan Bhavas, inauspicious houses. Planets ruling those houses can cause adverse effects, and planets going into those houses become weak. So this moon is weak. So I think that causes some trouble with the heart, and also chest, lungs, fluids in the body, menstrual cycle, and thyroid. Those are all vulnerable. So she could wear white clothing and a single pearl to strengthen her moon. She should never strengthen Mars because it rules the 6th house. She needs to help men who are like brothers on Tuesdays. Also, Venus for Scorpio is not a favorable planet because its mul trikona sign Libra falls in the 12th house. So Venus is technically a functional malefic planet for this chart, but it's not close to 7 degrees, so it's benign. It just sits there and doesn't cause any damage in the 2nd house. It doesn't cause any damage where it aspects into the 8th house. Mars, a little bit of a trouble here because Mars is about 4 degrees, 3.5 degrees, and the rising sign is within that 5-degree orb. So if you add 5 degrees here, it comes up to 839. Here you've got 743. So Mars is clearly within that 5-degree orb. So technically, it is afflicting the 9th house of father, so it could cause some disputes with her father, or litigation with her father, or problems for father, or health issues for father. And Mars aspects 4 houses away, 7 houses away, and 8 houses away. So this is going to cause some health issues if she tries to live in a foreign land. Mars is afflicting the 12th house of foreign lands. And this can also cause some separate sleeping arrangements with her spouse and some insomnia. 12th house is also pleasures of the bed. It's interesting, a lot of her late music has to do with pleasures of the bed. Then Mars is aspecting into this 3rd house. So this will cause some conflict with her speech and communications, and maybe conflict with younger siblings. And then Mars aspects 8 houses away, so there's conflict with parents or conflicts over property matters. So she definitely needs to do some remedies for the chart, but we can still see that very powerful sun the very well-placed Jupiter, the well-placed Venus, the well-placed Saturn. These are all contributing to her success. So she's been running her Saturn period since 2000. So started in July 2000. So the last 12 and a half years has been Saturn. 13 and a half years, I guess. Okay, so Saturn is in the house of independence, self-expression, entrepreneurial activities, rules the fourth house of parents and property, fixed assets. But it's not without some controversy that Mars is afflicting that house. This Saturn period will run until the end of July 2019, so she's still got about 5 years and 7-8 months to go of Saturn. Current subperiod has been Mars this past year. She had a lot of success during Mars, a lot of recognition. But I still say it's a malefic planet. It is in the 9th house of good fortune, but it's a malefic planet, and it's debilitated and ruled by a badly placed moon. Now, moon is ruled by Venus in the house of wealth and status, so maybe that's why her success still continues. But I think there's some stress going on for her. And this March 13th, she's going to go into a Rahu subperiod for 3 years, and I don't think that's completely ideal. I think she will like her Jupiter final subperiod of Saturn, Jupiter, from January 2017 till July 2019. So Jupiter's husband and children. So she's likely to have husband and child during that time. It's in the house of gains, so she can gain a husband and gain a child during that time. Then she goes into the 17 years of Mercury, which is favorable. Rules income, friendships. It's in the first house of self. By the way, Jupiter rules this house of wealth and status and family life, and its position in the 11th house shows that income from family. So she already had money when she was growing up from her father. A lot of money. But she did earn it on her own as well. And Jupiter's publishing. So this is in the house of gains, publishing, teaching, consulting, and advisory roles. And that Venus in that second house, that's entertainment and wealth and romance and creativity, the performing arts in the house of wealth and status. Okay, these are the main points for Miley Cyrus. Namaste.